So DOGE is apparently working with Russia, according to Jenna McLaughlin, or McLaughlin, I don't know how you say that last name. A whistleblower's disclosure details how DOGE may have taken sensitive labor data. So, according to a whistleblower, not only is DOGE taking sensitive labor data that they're not supposed to be accessing at all, they're also accessing this information in tandem with Russian agents, according to the whistleblower. So now, not only are a bunch of DOGE goons in possession of information about Americans that are working class, who are just trying to get by, and possibly trying to use this information as a means by which to blackmail them in the event that everything begins to collapse under their absolutely atrocious leadership. Russia is now also trying to get data on American citizens. I also assume because, I mean, why not, right? Like, if you have the most powerful nation in the world opening its doors to you, allowing you to just rummage through, why not just rummage through? So let's read the article. Let's go through it. In the first days of March, a team of advisors from President Trump's new Department of Government Efficiency initiative arrived at the Southeast Washington, D.C. headquarters of the National Labor Relations Board. The small, independent federal agency investigates and adjudicates complaints about unfair labor practices. It stores reams of potentially sensitive data, from confidential information about employees who want to form unions to proprietary business information. The DOGE employees, who are effectively led by White House advisor and billionaire tech CEO Elon Musk, appear to have their sights set on accessing the NLRB's internal systems. They've said their unit's overall mission is to review agency data for compliance with the new administration's policies and to cut costs and maximize efficiency. What they mean by compliance is to blackmail people who are in unions, to blackmail working class Americans into accepting shittier regulations concerning workers' rights. That's exactly what they mean by compliance. They are conspiring and planning for the expected scenario of everything falling apart. This is why Elon Musk talks about creating a legion of offspring for the apocalypse. By the apocalypse, he means the inevitable blowback that they're going to receive from the American people, the inevitable fighting back against Elon Musk and his cohorts. It's almost like, because I keep seeing him talk about the apocalypse, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Either Elon Musk and friends are planning on destroying most of humanity to create their own little, like, planetary fiefdom, which I suspect, or they're planning on crashing the American economy, and I guess Elon's going to create an entire legion of offspring to ensure his genetic legacy survives. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but we're going to cover that video next. It's possible that the data included sensitive information on unions, ongoing legal cases, and corporate secrets. Data that 4 labor law experts tell NPR should almost never leave the NLRB, and that has nothing to do with making the government more efficient or cutting spending. Meanwhile, according to the disclosure and records of internal communications, members of the DOGE team asked that their activities not be logged on the system and then appeared to try to cover their tracks behind them, turning off monitoring tools and manually deleting records of their accesses. Evasive behavior that several cybersecurity experts interviewed by NPR compared to what criminal or state-sponsored hackers might do. The employees grew concerned that the NLRB's confidential data could be exposed, particularly after they started detecting suspicious login attempts from an IP address in Russia, according to the disclosure. Eventually, the disclosure continued. The IT department launched a formal review of what it deemed a serious, ongoing security breach or potentially illegal removal of personally identifiable information. The whistleblower believes that the suspicious activity warrants further investigation by agencies with more resources, like the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, or the FBI. Now, normally calling on the alphabet niggas to solve a problem, not talking about the LGBTQ, talking about the CIA, FBI, and friends. Normally, when you call up the alphabet niggas to solve a problem, you can trust them, you can kind of rely on them to take America's side and not Russia's side. But currently, the FBI is headed by a googly-eyed crackhead, Kash Patel, and a absolutely buffoonish Russian stooge named Tulsi Gabbard, who sat there like this for about 20 minutes grilled about the whiskey leaks. These two absolute buffoons are the ones in charge of American national security and intelligence. Tulsi Gabbard, an individual who consistently carries the most acidic water possible for Russia, is the person who's now supposed to investigate Russian interference in American cybersecurity and then possibly accessing confidential information about American labor? Sure she is. Sure she is. Surely Tulsi Gabbard would never compromise America's national security for the people that pay her. Surely she would never do that. Of course she would. Tulsi Gabbard is already in contempt of, like, that whole whiskey leak situation, they're already fucked in the event that adversarial administration were to take hold. Tulsi Gabbard's cooked. And you know what people do in situations like this? They either A, surrender it all and decide to walk away from this, or B, they decide to double down even further and go down the wrong path of history, to end up on the wrong side of history. Tulsi Gabbard seems resolved to do the latter. So, with that being said, the reality is the American people have no path of recourse here. We can't rely on Donald Trump and Tulsi Gabbard and Kash Patel to be the ones to try to stop Russia from stealing our information. Crater Face and Googly Eyes are not fixing anything for this country. They are spies. They are foreign agents meant to compromise the United States. That's exactly who and what these people are. That is why there is no solution to this. That is why there is no way out of this. That is why we are fucked. Because the people whose job it is to say, I don't like that, those people are already completely bought and paid for by the opposition, by the enemy. By the enemy. Talking about something the FBI is going to investigate. Really? The intelligence agencies are going to investigate this? The same intelligence agencies who answer to Crater Face Gabbard, the traitor? Really? That one? Stop. Stop. DOGE is in collusion with Russia. Everybody knows it. DOGE obviously is trying to collect information about unions, trying to collect information about American working class individuals in order to blackmail them in the inevitability that Elon Musk and friends decide to violate workers' rights, decide to roll back incredibly important regulations. They're basically trying to bring back the Gilded Age. The problem is, I don't think they realize how spoiled Americans are. The problem with a really spoiled population is, it's very hard to piss them off, but once they're pissed off, you're in a bad situation. The American people are so used to, having reasonable levels of rights and standard of living that if your plan is to detonate all of that, you need to have a plan on what to do when you've lost 90% of the public's support, which I think Donald Trump and Elon Musk and friends are preparing for. They're preparing to lose any and all support from the general public. I think that's what Elon Musk is referring to when he talks about the apocalypse. What he means by the apocalypse is the end of his social status, the end of people liking... You would think we'd be at the end of people liking Elon Musk, but we're not. He means the end of him being able to just chill out in public without wondering who's without wondering if someone's coming after him. That's what he means, okay? So the reality is that we are absolutely under attack by foreign agents. This nation is 100% in danger, and we've been compromised. It's unfortunate, but that's where we are now. I don't know how we're getting out of this. I don't know how we're getting out of this one, bro. Between the prisons and the hacking and the fuckery, it's like, bro, I think this might be it, bro. This might be the end times, bro. Elon Musk might be the beast, and Trump might be the Antichrist. This really might be it.